Hey, what's going on? It's Joe Teel, and this is another episode of the Joe Teel podcast. I'm all solo again today, but it's all good. We're gonna have a good time. I got lots of things to talk about. Um, First of all, this week I was devastated. I lined up some really great guests. I had 4 interviews lined up. People that I've been wanting to get for a long time. Finally got all the dates lined up. One of the guys I booked like 3 weeks ago, and the other day I was at work. And we were setting some septic tanks, and we set the first 2 tanks, and then it just hit me all at once. It felt like a train hit me, and I was like, "No, man, I need to go sit down." So I was feeling so bad, like out of nowhere, that I just laid on a pile of dirt, and that's when I guess the fever hit, and it wasn't like 100 degrees outside. This is like Wednesday, and so. It wasn't like scorching, but it was still hot, and I had a fever. But I was like an hour and a half away. We were at this job far away, so it was like a worst nightmare type deal. So there I am. I can't. Then I like almost can't get up. I just like damn near go to sleep, and I'm laying there, sick as a dog, stuck there because like how sick I was. Like my dad didn't even want me to drive home from the job. So anyways, I suffered all day long, and I had to text all of my potential guests and reschedule. And that hurts my heart. A big thing when it comes to podcasting is, especially like an interview type show, is you have to get the people in. And if you know anything about scheduling, you already know like the hurdles and stuff that you got to jump to make that shit happen. And so it hurts me that now I've got to like first of all, for consistency's sake, if I could have recorded 4 episodes this week, that would have put me way ahead, especially with a vacation coming up at the end of the month. But I just went on vacation to Tulsa, and I think that's where I got sick. I think I may have got the damn COVID, but I don't know. I don't ever go to the doctor. Once I get sick, I just start staying away from everybody. And but I think I may have got it in Tulsa. I went down to Tulsa last week on a Friday, was there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and left Monday for Labor Day and drove all the way home. And I really don't think that I was in like top form in there because I was down with my cousins and stuff hanging out. And normally I'm like a driving force of energy. Let's go do this. Let's go do this. And man, I could just tell like sickness was coming after my ass. But no, Tulsa was cool. Tulsa was cool, man. Every time I go to Tulsa, it gives me like a different perspective because it's like if you sit in your hometown and you never leave, and this is why I believe traveling, vacation is so important. If you just stay in your hometown, you can kind of start to feel like your hometown is all that's out there. Like you can kind of get, especially if you don't live in a very big place, you kind of get sucked back into that small town type syndrome deal where you feel like, you know, we kind of can forget the rest of the world is out there. Like we know of like big picture stuff, like politics and stuff we see on the news and shit of that nature, but we zoom in on what's immediately in front of us. Every time I go to Tulsa, which I try to go see my cousins as much as possible, I'm always challenged in the way I think because you see different type of people there. It's more of a city. It's more urban. There's more. First of all, there's more shit to do. First of all, there's a lot more stuff to do. They live in a different type of neighborhood than I live in. We go stay at their house. They live in this, and it's a very nice house in a very nice neighborhood. And they, their neighbor is like maybe 10 foot from them on both sides. I live on a farm. This is a big difference. And so, I don't know. And then you go into the city and you just see these large crowds. And I feel like, because I went to what they call a gathering place, and it's just a large playground that's right by this river, the river that runs through Tulsa. And man, there was a ton of people there. They had a 61-foot duck there. I got to put the picture on here of it. A 61-foot duck. Big ass duck. But yeah, there was a ton of people there. That definitely could have been it. We also went to this new outlet mall type deal that opened up, and it was like it just had outlets and stuff, and it was packed. Apparently it opened like last week. And so I came into contact, and I already felt like I was kind of sick a little bit when I went to Tulsa. So I feel like I went down there with maybe a compromised immune system. But it's so hard to plan these deals, and it was Labor Day, so I was like, man, I'm gonna fight through this. I'm gonna make it down there. And anyways, that didn't turn out good because when I came home, I went to work Tuesday, wasn't feeling too great. Went to work Wednesday, got hit by a train. And so, yeah, fever hit me, and that was rough. But I ain't had fever in a while. Whew. I ain't had fever in a while, y'all. That son of a bitch, ran me over. I came home because I had to work that whole, I just stayed at work that whole day. And so we left Avenger, Texas, which is over an hour away from my house. The whole time we're driving home, I'm like, my back, like my body hurt. And the truck is uncomfortable. So it's me, my dad, and his wife. And we're all in a single cab, which is already, we look like a damn circus already. So then all the way home, I'm just like dying. So I get home and I go straight to bed. And then I didn't work yesterday. I couldn't do it. And I went back to work today, but I don't feel great. So anyways, I say all that to say, I got to do a solo episode. I don't feel very good right now, but we got to make the solo episode happen because we got to keep the content rolling, baby. Everybody was cool, so I'm still going to get these guests on. Eric Aiken, FCA, the Fields of Faith coming up. That's a big deal. Thousands of kids are going to gather at Pleasant Grove Stadium here in Texarkana, and there's like basically like a giant church service. And so that's always cool. Super excited. Chase Brewster from Sticks Baseball, and he has his own podcast, The Chase Brewster Show. Got him lined up. Danny Stone, the creator of Restoration Hope, which is a big program that helps turn addicts into like functioning members of society. Y'all remember Big Slice that was on there? Shout out to Big Slice at Big Slice's place. That's my boy. He went through the program, graduated, started his own business, and became a preacher, and all because of this, not all because of the program, but the program helped him significantly. So I want to talk to the guy that came up with that. Just a couple of ones that are coming up. I got the Cookie Lady coming soon. I got the damn Cookie Lady. The Cookie Lady will have so many people on state line lined up to her shop that she would shut down a whole lane of traffic. I don't know what she's putting in them cookies, but I'm going to find out. If she sees this beforehand, please bring me some cookies, preferably of the peanut butter persuasion. Anyways, yeah, so I've got some really cool guests coming, and today I've just got to thug out this damn solo episode, but I'm going to make it interesting. I've got some things that I really want to talk about today, and man, I just overthink everything, but that's just a part of the deal. Let's hit something light before we get into this other deal. Let's talk about motherfucking Caitlin Clark. Let's do it, boys and girls. Let's do it. All right. So I was posting a lot about Caitlin Clark when she first started because the hype from her going to college into the WNBA was huge. I wasn't sure if this was going to die down. I didn't know if this was a fad. I didn't know how well she would do. So it was really exciting. There was this beef with Angel Reese, kind of that the media hyped up. And so this rookie class that they sent to the WNBA had a lot of hype. Cameron Brink, the other lady from Iowa, I can't think of, Kate Martin, Aaliyah Edwards. I mean, just there's a whole bunch of big name talents that was coming from college into the WNBA. I got into it. I started watching the Fever play, and their first 9 games they went 1-8. So out of their first 9 games they lost 8 of them, and it looked like there were some shining moments for Caitlin Clark, but that she might be a bust, that the team is just trash. I think I even got on some podcasts and was talking shit. I'm talking about talking shit about the Fever. And I was saying, man, they're trash. Her teammates are trash. Caitlin's got little sparks of hope, but the team is trash. And boy, was I wrong. So I kept watching it. I kept watching every Indiana game. First of all, everything she does is sold out. Every place they go, even when she goes to away games, their buildings sell out. So imagine you play and you're Dallas and you don't sell out most nights. But when you play one specific team, you sell out every time. Every time the Fever plays, let's say Dallas, your place sells out. that's what the WNBA is dealing with. Every time she shows up, and people have brought all these different, there's all these different arguments, there's definitely the race argument for sure, where the people are, they take Angel Reese and they take Caitlin Clark and they put them against each other. And if you like so-and-so, you're this type. And you like so-and-so, you're this type. Just more internet fuckery, if I had to guess. But for whatever reason, there was a lot of, there is this crazy hype over Caitlin Clark, and more so for her than Reese. I don't care what nobody say. Reese said, she went and she said something along the lines of, it's because of both of us that the WNBA is getting hype. And to an extent, I think that may have been the start of it, but I think it's more people are seeing now, because there's, as things progress and they got past the All-Star break, they've won 8 of 9 games. So like the opposite now. And now they have a positive record. So they completely turn their seasons around. You got Aaliyah Boston going crazy. You got, Lord, if I wasn't doing a podcast, I could tell you her name, because I literally watch every Fever game that comes on TV now. Ain't gonna lie. It's interesting. You just have to get used to it. Oh, man, they finna play right now. I got to watch it. What's the other lady's name? Just lose it. A little Eminem for y'all today. I'm trying to think of this lady's name, y'all. Kelsey Mitchell. What a baller. I think in the month of August, she was averaging like 26 points a game. You got to think about this, because when I look at stats and like the league stats, I tend to think of it as from NBA standpoint, because that's what we're all used to watching. So if LeBron's averaging 26 points a game, you say, wow, that's really impressive. You got to think the WNBA quarters are shorter. So there's 8 minutes less. Yeah. In every quarter, there's 2 minutes less. So every quarter is only 10 minutes long instead of 12. And so you're losing 8 minutes of that game. So if you were averaging 26 points a game in the WNBA, that in theory is technically a higher number than in the NBA, because you have more minutes in the NBA to score said points. Whether it's harder to score points in the WNBA to the NBA, that's not an argument that I feel like getting into. Because that's also a complicated argument, because you could say, oh, well, the guys are so much better, but at the same time, they're playing other guys and girls are just playing the girls. So whatever. Anyways, to anyone that doubted Caitlin Clark, you 100% were wrong. I feel like she's lived up to the hype and more. She's getting closer to averaging 20 points a game. She's had 2 triple doubles. No rookie has ever had a triple double. She's already had 2 of them. Shout out to the other night. Her team is winning, and they're winning against good teams too. And you got to think, when they started the season, I didn't know enough about it when I first started watching. I watched the first 8 or 9 games, and I'm like, oh, they're in trouble. Well, they started the season, they didn't have, they played like all the hardest teams, hardly any breaks in between. And so after the All-Star break, they had a couple weeks to like rest. This Indiana team comes back, and they're fucking dogs. Dogs with an A. DAWG dogs. And so that's been a lot of fun to watch. I think there's people out there that think, and this is controversial, I'll fucking say it, I don't give a shit. They say that Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark should share the Rookie of the Year trophy. Hell no. Hell no. I do not think so. I think that's stupid. I do not like that. Angel Reese does get a lot of rebounds. We'll give her that. Angel Reese does kind of play hard. I'll give her that. A lot of her rebounds, and this has been said, I'm not the first person to say this for sure. A lot of her rebounds are her getting the rebound when she misses. She smokes layups. Like fucking Marlboro Reds, baby. She is like a black and mild. She's smoking them. Missing layups. And so she get good position on a defender and be between the defender and the goal, miss, hit the rim, grab her own rebound, miss again, grab her own rebound, miss again. This shit happened the other day. I think she missed like 4 of them. She finally made one. Then she looked at the defender and did the too little. And that shit shook me because it's like, why? I get it. You muscled them up in the long run. In the long run, you muscled them up. But bro, when do we celebrate for missing 4 layups in a row? She tried to shoot a 3 the other day. Air ball. Trash. Now, I'm going to get called racist and all that shit because but I really don't like, I don't really like how she plays. It ain't got nothing to do with all that shit. In fact, I like her attitude. I like how she carries herself. I think the Sky play kind of dirty basketball, but that's part of the game. They play rough, gritty defense. There's been plenty of other teams that we didn't call thugs because they played hard defense, gritty defense, drive on the floor, push you a little bit. That's not what it is. Caitlin Clark has a high. Let's think about this. Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark's basketball IQ. Get the fuck out of here. Assist. Caitlin Clark's breaking assist records. Get the fuck out of here. She wins on that. Shooting the ball. Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark got a higher layup fucking percentage than her. And Angel Reese is a big. Get the fuck out of here. What else could we say? She is assisting. Most of her shots are not assisted. What Caitlin Clark is shooting, meaning she's creating her own shot. Her average shot attempt is 27.6, which is about what Steph Curry is shooting. You got to think she is shooting at an average distance as Steph Curry. She is multiple feet behind the 3 line when she's pulling that motherfucker. If you're not into women's basketball, I'm sorry I may have just bored you for 5 minutes, but these are my hot takes, baby. And I got way different routes to go, but they don't need to share the Rookie of the Year deal because Angel Reese is getting double-doubles. Congratulations. You can score 10 points and get 5 of your own rebounds and 5 other rebounds and play the whole game. Good job. Caitlin Clark is shooting the ball. Caitlin Clark is passing the ball. Caitlin Clark is in charge of pushing the pace of the ball. She's playing off the ball. Now, one place she can improve, and she even said this is herself, is her off-the-ball defense. Just learning the rotations. But you got to think, I think she's moving her way into MVP talks. She won't win because A'ja Wilson is 100% the best player in the league right now. And then there's other people like Stewie and other players that are, that's for them. But I'm just saying. Don't let me get going too long on this segment. Should Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark share the Rookie of the Year trophy? Hell no. There you have it. How long did that take? Sheesh. I know I put a good little 10 on that one. As we move on. Let's see. Now that I did that, let's talk about the Ravens and the Chiefs. I'm not going to stay too long on sports today. These are just my 2 little topics. It was fun to see I said basketball. Shit. It was fun to see football back on. Football is exciting. Football is one of the greatest things, to most Americans. Football is huge. And to see these 2 teams that are crazy good, to see Derrick Henry on the Ravens, that's wild. And to see it come down, how it came down, it was crazy. Crazy. The controversial ending where dude he caught 2 plays earlier, he goes down, hurts himself, comes out the ball game. The next play, the tying touchdown, or the touchdown to at least get him into tying range. Lamar Jackson goofs and he got a wide open man in the end zone, throws the ball 5-6 foot away from him. Dumbass moment. Anyways, they pull bro back in that got hurt. He runs a little route. Lamar gets out of trouble, throws him a pass way high up in the air and shit. Bro snags it. It looks clean. They go back on a review. They zoom in on his toe, and his toe's over the line. Ball game. It's something about the Chiefs, man. It is something about the Chiefs that make, every one of their games is so exciting. I wouldn't just say I'm a Chiefs fan, but it is exciting shit watching them play, and exciting stuff always happens when they're playing. One interesting thing, I guess they're trying to fix that illegal formation shit that everybody was bitching about last year. So now they're going hard on it. In the first quarter, I think there was 4 illegal formations called on Baltimore. That is wild. If that didn't happen, that could have changed the whole dynamic of the game. But anyways, here's what I do remember. I do remember people bitching about, oh, well, if the refs are going to call it for one play, they need to call it for every play. And I guess they heard that shit, and now they're just going to call it for every play. So I guess they were sending their message that they're going to call that shit this season. Anyways, football is exciting. There's games on tonight. There's games coming on all week. What else can we get into, man? Football is back. That means people are not going to shut up about their fucking fantasy teams and all that shit. I'm never brave enough to do that fantasy shit because I don't know enough. I used to watch Luke and them do that shit. Let's see. So let's get into a more serious topic. It's September is Suicide Prevention Month, and I do want to talk about this. For multiple reasons, and this is incredibly important. Man, let's get real here today. Life is really tough, you know. Life is hostile. You know, and a lot of times we, especially us now that the world has kind of progressed how it has, in some ways we do have it so easy, you know, as far as air conditioning, internet, and this and that. You know, we have so many things generations before us didn't have. But you can't dress up how hard life is. There's still this dangerous, raw element of life. Life is tough. You can get in really bad situations, and you can get in a hole. You can get in a hole that you never dreamed you would ever get into. Sometimes it's just what life throws at you, because all we can do is control our reactions, and sometimes as humans we don't make the best reaction, right? So that being said, it's not that crazy, especially with how the world is as far as how expensive things are, or just there's so many things right now. You know, we just went through a pandemic and everybody is trying to, like, I guess it feels more normal now than it did, but like we don't know what that did to us. You know what I mean? Like being stuck in the house, being scared for your life, seeing family members get sick. Like, that is insane. Like, if in 2018, if you'd have asked me like about what a pandemic is or whatever, I would have had no context. If somebody asked me about a pandemic now, we can give you the full layout of things that went right, things that went wrong, things we agree with, things we disagree with. But what we can all agree on is that there was rough times, and that was just an insane, wild period of time. Anyways, so there's things in life that we don't have control of. There's things in life that beat us down. We can get into paths that we never thought we would be on. And I say all that to say is, mentally, you never know where you'll end up, right? Man, this is important to me. You never know where you're going to end up. You really don't. And all you can, like I said, the best thing we can do is work on our reactions. And practice things like gratitude and think, you know, I'm blessed, I'm here, I'm alive, things are working. But you see people get into these holes, you see people get down low. I've been in a low down situation, and it's like our brains can trick us into thinking that it might be better if we just stop fighting, right? And it's a scary thing that our brain can do sometimes, right? Because on most given times, if you're taking care of yourself and things are going your way, you don't wake up and say, you know what, this fight ain't worth fighting, right? It's normally when things start stacking against us, things get tough, and, you know, a lot of times there's so many momentums, and so many moments of momentum. And if you just get beat down over and over and over again, and you're not able to make the changes you need or whatever, you know, you can really find yourself in a really sad, mind state. a depressed mind state. And I'm no by no means a psychologist. Um, I don't think I'm smarter than the psychologist. That's not what I'm saying. I know what worked for me as far as this, which was I always preach this, is that, I did change my habits, and that helped me tremendously. So, if I could ever offer any advice as far as if you feel like you're in a hole, before you maybe try medicine, I would say try to change your life first. Try to change your habits. Try to change your eating. Try to change the things that are potentially bringing you down. I would say that, and I don't know if doctors exactly agree with this because, to be realistic, it's kind of their job to sell medicine. You know what I mean? To prescribe medicine. That's kind of what they do. So you take that how you want. Nothing against doctors. I feel like it's the system, And as much as you learn, even when you get into politics and you start learning about like the power that like big pharma has altogether, you just like someone like me, I get a little scared of the medical system in general. But anyways, there are life-changing things that the medical system can do. Obviously, we're living longer. There is medicine we need. That's cool. What I'm saying is, I would encourage everybody to start working on their life. Like start changing your environment before you start changing change your environment, change what you're doing. And I think that if you still need help after that, then yes, 100%, I would go talk to a doctor. I would go talk to a psychiatrist. I've been in, I'm trying to figure out how to word this. Let's be real. When times get tough, we kind of lose sight of how precious life is, But I'm going to say this now, and I'm going to say that I just don't feel like taking yourself out the game is the way to do it, My mom passed away. She unfortunately chose that route, and it was not just one thing that caused it. Like I said, it was like a mountain of things. And by the time you get to the bottom, she felt like she was in a place that, she couldn't climb out of. And because of taking so much medicine and upping doses and doing this and that, she really wasn't in the right mind state to fight off, you know what I'm saying, these thoughts. I'm very scared, man, because when I look at my family's history, there is this trail of that word. I don't even want to say it because I feel like you get flagged. But what this month is the awareness for? We'll just say that, and we'll just say taking ourselves out the game. And one thing the Army did teach me, and one thing life has taught me, business has taught me, is that you just gotta keep fighting. You know what I mean? You're on a long march. You're on a long run. Sports taught me this too. The game's winding down. You're tired. What matters is that you finish, and I think that we can take that and put that towards life. The moment we give up completely, I don't know, we rob ourselves from the end of the story. Just think of, I don't know, you can get to a point where you feel like that is the solution. And I understand that. I wouldn't just say, I think, and to be really super fucking realistic, I don't think I've ever actually been in danger of going down that route. I think I've weighed it before in my mind because of all the stuff that's come before me. And I've been faced with that. And there was times where I wasn't taking care of my mental health and got into a really bad spot. But I've always had this underlying, no, I don't want to do that. I was almost kind of like a scared deal, thank God, right? Or whatever, the powers that be. Anyways, it's Suicide Prevention Month. I just want to encourage people, man, to keep your damn head up, keep fighting. some of the worst stuff you're going through, just what I'd like to do is like think like when I'm in the middle of some bullshit, when I'm in the middle of like some real bad, heavy stuff, I try to think about the end of it. Like when I get to the other side of it, like once I make it through there, I think, bro, think of how tough you're going to be on the other end of this shit. That helps me a lot. When I say, think of how fucking tough you're going to be, look how hard and how resilient, how perseverance is going to make you at that point if I just get through this. And that right there, we just have to have this balance because you can't take life so seriously, but at the same time, you do have to take yourself serious because that's how you become successful. So it's like, if you take yourself too seriously, then you'll give too much weight about what people think about you. You'll give their words too much weight, their thoughts too much weight. If I take myself super serious and someone says something contradictory to how I feel about myself, then I take myself too serious. I'm going to say, whoa, 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 whoa. And then now I've got to go defend myself. Now I've got to go defend my honor. I've got to go hop in there. We've got to get into some exchange. But if I take myself seriously, but also not so seriously that stuff like that works, when somebody says something crazy to me, I'll be like, I take myself serious. I already know. I know my flaws. You can't wait around and let people tell you your flaws. You can't. I try to be realistic with myself. I know what's wrong with me. I don't need you to tell me what's wrong with me. So when you tell me what's wrong with me, it's like, it's either I already know or no, that's not true. It's like trying to clear up rumors. Is it worth even trying to clear it up? A lot of the times, probably not. But if you take yourself too seriously, then the first thing people do is like, whoa, 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 let me clear myself up. But then it's like, if I take myself serious but not too serious, I'd be like, man, here's my track record. If you believe something that's stupid about me, maybe you're stupid. I don't know. I say all that to say self-care. Take care of yourself. This is a month especially. Take care of yourself. If you have people in your family that have had issues with this, take extra care of yourself. I will say that. I would say that because I'm scared because of my family's past. So that motivates me to try harder. To put more importance on things that I think are going to keep me steady and balanced, because that's what we need. We need balance. We need steady. We need gratitude. We need happiness, because I say this all the time. I used to have a lot of bad days, and there was a period of time where I had a lot of bad days in a row. When I started making changes, I started having good days. And I would tell myself in those good days, okay, now I'm starting to have good days in the middle of these bad days. Then I would go weeks and weeks and weeks without having a bad day. Then I might go a month without having a bad day. Then when you have a bad day, the first thing I would tell myself is, dude, look how many more good days I've had than bad. And this is something I've been saying in my head a lot lately. Bad times, good life. And I really do believe that, man, for the amount of joy and the amount of cool things I've seen and been able to do and moments I've been able to have with people I love and people close to me, and, just experiencing how beautiful this life is, dude, it would have to be some real dark, consistent bullshit to really tip the scales. You know what I'm saying? And so I may have a bad day, but I have a good life. As a whole, my life has been good. And I always hold on to that. And it's a lot of the times I do think it's up to me to keep my life good. It's very tricky. You know what I'm saying? It is very easy to start blaming other people for the things that don't work out in your life. That's not the play. You got to take responsibility. You got to take accountability. You got to make changes. Make changes. If you don't feel good, if you don't look how you want to look, if you don't like what's going on, make a fucking change. If you're thinking about taking yourself out of the game, I'd fucking make changes first. Try. We eat bullshit. Try your best to change that. That is having a negative effect on us. Our society is bullshit. we have things like pandemics and fucking what's that word? Inflation, shit that is actively dragging us down. You know, there's politics. If you sit around and think about politics all day, you're gonna have a shit ass life because politics suck. They're fun to argue about. They're also will drive you crazy arguing about the shit. So if you're sitting around worried about the Republicans and the Democrats and the fucking CIA and shit all the time, you're probably not enjoying your life. You know, so I think that there's moments that you need to study. You need to be, you know, especially when it's time to vote, you need to be at least educated enough to know what you think, you know, to do what you think is right in that moment. But if you sit around and think about politics all the time, that sounds like ass. That sounds like boo-boo. Sounds like boo-boo. I don't want to stay on this too long. I don't want to get too low. Woo, I know I put a little time into that one. Sorry, folks. But I'm serious. I'm serious though. You know, I would say definitely try therapy if you feel like you need it. Make changes in your life and last resort, maybe try some medications. I really am against them, but you know, like I said, I'm not a doctor and I'm not a psychiatrist. Sorry. You know, these are just my personal beliefs. There you have it. All right, let's talk about one more thing and I'll get out your way. TV shows. The modern TV show in the modern streaming situation with the internet, with fans, with the ability to, you know, with just, you know, between YouTube channels and blog posts and social medias and Twitters and all that shit, I'm starting to wonder what it takes. Excuse me, I'm still sick. What it takes to have like a successful type show. Because I see this in Star Wars so much, and I may have talked about this before, but I really want to talk about this some more. The debate is you have, let's say, the corporation, and let's call it what it is. Disney is a corporation. Disney is an incredibly rich corporation. That's what they are. You know what I mean? Like that is a giant business. Then they put out these shows. Let's say, you know, they bought Star Wars. A lot of people love Star Wars. I love Star Wars. It's near and dear in my heart. There has been shining moments where I think Disney has done right with Star Wars, and then there's been moments where I was like, what the fuck? That is stupid. Whatever. But you know, when we used to get TV shows, they used to put TV shows out quicker, first of all. Then they used to put more episodes per season now. The average episode is like 6 to 8 episodes now of a new season of anything. When you release 8 episodes and call it one season and release it week by week, let's say of a Star Wars show, that episode between, let's say they release on Thursdays. Between Thursday and Thursday, you see the same shit with House of Dragon and all, and shows of that nature, Rings of Power, Game of Thrones when it came out. Between Thursday and Thursday, that one episode gets dissected on the internet. That's just what it is. People find everything that's wrong with every single episode, and they find the right things but the big debate between Disney right now and the Star Wars, like one group of Star Wars fans, and then there's other group of Star Wars fans, like the Acolyte, it gets canceled, right? That's not a big surprise to me. I watched The Acolyte. I love Star Wars. I love everything about Star Wars. I've read almost every Star Wars book. No bullshit. In Star Wars, there's books that were wrote before Disney bought them. Those are called Legends. Then Disney bought it and made a new canon. I've read all those books, almost all of them, on both deals. So it's like, I watched 3 episodes of Acolyte and was like, oof, this just not, it's not making enough sense to me, and it doesn't feel like, because the thing about Star Wars is that they've made so much content that's all continuation. It's kind of like Marvel. It's kind of like MCU, where it's like this one world. The difference is that some of the world was made in 1980, and some of the world was made in 2000s, and then some of the world was made in 2010s, and then some of the world has been made in the 2020s. That's one of the main differences of it, that the difference between it and hardly any other show ever. I want to say there's 11 movies. It's like 7 or 8 TV shows now. It's a lot of content. And the time period, I think the time period from that, Acolyte was like 100 years before episode 1. So the time period really isn't that long, a couple 100 years, give or take. And there's all these movies. But continuation is big in there because you want the story to feel like the same story, right? The Acolyte just didn't feel like the same story. I didn't really like where it was going. They did something. I finally did go back and watch it all. And they did something at the end that bothered me because someone that there's a specific book that I liked so much, and they took a character from the book, took him out of his time, place that he would have been in the book, and shoved him in for like 3 seconds. I didn't really like that. But anyways, let's get back to the debate. The debate is people over here say it's just badly written. It's this and that. There's poor acting, bad story, this or that. Disney's claim is that it's just a bunch of racist bigots that made the show get canceled. Because it's Disney. They had as many different people as you could think of. I don't give a damn. That ain't got nothing to do with me. That's just what I'm saying. That's just what they did. And so their excuse is that it's just racist and it's bigotry. And their excuse is that it's just bad and poor written TV. What I'm saying is that because of the internet and because of social media and because of things like Rotten Tomato, where we don't really trust the critic score, and where some people don't trust the audience score because some people say that the audience score is tampered with also because people go make a bunch of fake accounts and bomb things that they don't like. It's hard to tell. What I'm saying is, as a whole, does that make it impossible for like TV shows to thrive? Because it does seem that TV shows get canceled at a pretty high frequency nowadays. Like, you don't see very many shows keep running. In fact, it's very rare these days. I think the high turnover of TV shows, that does have a lot to do with you can't keep the internet happy. The internet is not a real place, right? I think we can all agree that. The internet's not a good place, but it's not a real place, actually. But you kind of have to treat it like it's a real place, right? Because it's a fucking place that people go on to, you know what I'm saying? So the internet is like this huge landscape with all these different opinions. And so like the second you put something out, if you're a big corporation like Disney, it just gets hit. Bam, the show. And so the division of people is always going to like ruin these shows. So I wonder if the fans are ruining TV shows, or the TV shows, or the corporations making the TV shows ruining the TV shows. Is it a combination of two? Is in this new kind of woke world we live in, is Disney, can they make a bad TV show and just get away with saying, hey, if you don't like this shit, you're a fucking bigot? Is that possible? I think so. Yeah. Is there probably racist fucking people out there that said, I don't like it because there was a black Jedi? There's probably some angry white dude that said that shit. So I don't know. The internet, let's think about that while we're here. Let's think about it. Fuck, we might as well. The internet does seem to bring out the extreme people. It's just like, it's just like with politics as well. Like, most people I talk to about politics are not way off the fucking handle with crazy ideas. Whether it's crazy right, crazy left, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Most people that I have intelligent conversations about politics way closer to the middle than either one. You know. But on the internet, that is where the far crazy people roam. That's where they're at. They're ready to argue. They're ready to give you their fucking 2 cents like they was trying to buy some fucking bubble gum. It's just what it is. Healthy discussions about things. This could go for the TV shows, deals, politics. I think healthy discussions are the best shit that we can do right now. There was a time when, especially when COVID was like in max fucking us up, I think this new narrative got put out that if you disagree with somebody, y'all fucking hate each other for life now. It's like, it don't gotta be like that. It doesn't have to be like that. One of the best things you can do is set somebody down on the left and somebody down on the right and let them have a nice conversation. If you can keep that conversation cordial, it's not going to be no fucking crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? It's always the wild, extreme people that make shit a little wild. That's what they do. But Lex Fridman today, I listened to 2 different podcasts he did. He had a guy come on. Let me not fuck this up. I'm going to get off here. I'm not going to sit here and talk about politics, but I'm talking about Lex Fridman individually because I love his podcast and I definitely... So this guy's name is Sink Uygur. I know I'm fucking that up. Anyways, he's from the Young Turks show. Anyways, he is into progressive politics. You know, he's a Democrat. He's not like crazy far left, give the kids hormone blockers shit. Not that. But then he turned around and he had Donald Trump on there. He was polite, respectful to both of them. And I learned so much about both sides today by listening to one guy that had an open mind and that was willing to talk to different people and have a conversation with people. You know what I'm saying? Because it's real easy, and even as a podcast host, it's real easy to go get people that you already know that are going to agree with you because you already know that's going to make the conversation flow better or whatever, or this is the style of my channel. I go find people that think like me. We have conversations. But to go have people and get variety of guests that think different and to approach as the host as, so open-minded and willing to learn and willing to ask good questions. Shout out to Lex Fridman. That is a baller move. That's what we need more of. If you take these arguments on the internet, they're bad. You know what I'm saying? Because, you got keyboard warriors. Somebody said one time, you wouldn't say the shit you say on the internet if you saw that person in life. About 95% of the time, you've got some asshole out there right now that says, I'll say whatever I want to whoever I want, whenever I want. And that's cool. The average person is not blatantly speaking their mind to strangers in the street. That's not fucking happening. That's just real. So, good conversations. Being willing to hear things from a bunch of different angles. And you will hear conflicting things because that's just a part of it, because everybody has their bias. Everybody has their angle. And it seems like no matter how hard we try, because even I see people that are really dedicated to like trying to see things straight, no spin, none of that shit. It always happens, just even a little bit. But I applaud the people that don't let it get to them. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said earlier, if you're sitting around and you really just think about fucking politics all day, I feel so sorry for you, because politics is a dirty, nasty underworld that if we want to be serious, from what I've learned listening to from all the different angles over and over and over and over again, money seems to run politics. Big corporations seem to run politics more than we do, obviously. These people are they work, like the elected officials work for the people donating to them, not for us. It's just like if I had a job, you know, whoever pays me, that's kind of my boss, right? That's how politics works. You know what I'm saying? So you got you got Big Pharma, you've got APAC, you've got all these different fucking, they're throwing money at these people, and then they go do what the people throwing money at them do. So you as a common citizen, all you can do is just try to vote, and try to stay educated, try to be and here's my thing, try to be a better person. You know what I'm saying? In regular life. Try to be a better person. Let's wrap all this shit up by saying that, try to be a better person if you really want to make change. Because first of all, no one, let's be real, if you're an asshole, if you don't come across correctly, if you don't learn how to have civil conversations with people, you ain't converting nobody. If you're an asshole and you're out there telling people, if you believe this, you're stupid, blah, 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 you're dumb, this and that, you're not converting nobody. You're just making enemies. Let's be real. Until you learn how to have civilized conversations and ask tough questions and be able, and tough questions be able to open new doors of thought instead of turning into fights. If I ask somebody this insecure, tough question, they will more than likely get mad. But if you ask somebody with an open mind a tough question, they're going to try to figure out, the appropriate answer to that. And everybody's just looking for answers. And that's what it is. So if you're, for you to wake up in the morning and to side with somebody's, ideologies that they are, that a party has already established, and you just going to go with that, because that party told you to do that. This is some established. So basically, to me, that sounds like cheating on your homework, right? When you just, if you just go along with whatever, you pick a party and you're like, all right, whatever that party says, that's what I fuck with. That just tells me you're not thinking, right? You're not critically thinking. That's a very scary place to be in. A lot of people just avoid politics in general, and I'm learning that maybe that may not be the best move, because when it is time to vote, assuming our votes do anything, I do want to make a better decision than I have before, for sure. But understanding the world, if you're going to understand the world, you're going to have some type of basic knowledge of politics, right? Because politics are running the world. The people with the money are running the world. That's just what it is. If you don't understand why the world works how it works, why money moving to certain places is making things happen, you're not understanding why things are happening to you. To have a grasp on history, to have a grasp on all the things, you do got to kind of sort of know what the fuck is going on. Don't cheat off somebody else's homework. Figure out about people's policies. Figure out what they actually believe, their motivations behind there. Maybe follow a little money. Because if you follow the money, that normally tells you people's intentions. But anyways, just don't fucking, but like I was saying, civil conversations, open mind, willingness to learn. Me and you can disagree. We don't have to beat the hell out of each other. It's that easy. But the internet, like I said, the internet, I wouldn't use the internet unless I had to. Realistically. The internet can be a great positive place. I don't feel like I've said much negative stuff today. So when I put this on the internet, hey, it's just my opinions. I'm just some goofy ass dude from Texas. But there's a lot of bad shit out there. And there's a lot of influences. Last thing, we'll get into Mark Zuckerberg being pressured by the Biden administration to censor stuff during COVID. Okay? Like I said, I'm not here to pick sides or make you pick sides. I'm just saying, and I'm looking at it more from Facebook's perspective, because I'm not a big fan of censorship on the internet. I've said that a ton of times. Basically, he got pressured. Zuck boy got pressured, and he took certain things down. And I think that is the opposite of progress, because, you know what I'm saying? I still think the internet is a place where you should be able to see both sides. And people are always going to fight. They're always going to argue. Obviously, dangerous shit, like actual true dangerous shit, I really do hope they are working to keep that off of the internet. But at the same time, I want to be able to see people post dumb shit, even if they're wrong. That I still think you should be able to do that. Even if you're a dumbass, you should still be able to post. And you definitely shouldn't get cut off of the internet just because you're with a certain political party. That is completely wrong. Because if you really think this stupid ass 2-party system thing we got works, then you got to think whatever side's getting pushed, more help from like corporations. Or the problem is, what do they say? Is 2 wings on the same bird more than likely. But that, like I said, you can get cynical about this, and you can let it tear you down. You can that's why you don't think about this shit too much. You find what you need to know, and you make it. You try to make an informed decision off what you know. Anyways, to wrap it all up, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Joe Teel Podcast. Hopefully, I didn't drag you down through the mud today. I've enjoyed talking and working my thoughts out here. Man, just be a good person, dude. Just try to be a good person. Try to learn about the world. Keep an open mind. Just know that if you wanting people to see how you think, change how you're wording it. You know what I'm saying? Change how you approach people. This keyboard right here, dude. If you say your most bravest, toughest shit behind this, I think that's a problem. Or rather, you say your bravest, toughest shit to people, to their face, and have real conversations in the real world. Man, y'all are great. Joe Teel Podcast. I changed the name from the 180 Creator Interviews because that's just too long. And man, this is my podcast, and we're gonna talk about what we want to talk about when we want to talk about. Man, I may change my mind on things. I may change my views. I'm open for whatever. I got great guests coming. I've got great stuff in the works. If you stood in here with me this long, you are the great. You are the greatest. Sorry. I hope I get better soon. And man, I appreciate y'all. Please like, share, subscribe, share this, show your friends. Thank you. Y'all have a great day. Y'all be blessed.